We're live.
Okay. It's Jess the Ska Kid, and the nights are behind us. We're doing our first ever, because it's summertime, outdoor interview with Hans Gruber and the Diehards from Austin, Texas. Thank you guys so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Sitting on our porch, drinking beer, talking shit. Let's do introductions real quick. We all know I'm Jess. Go on.
I'm TJ.
I'm Kurt.
Chris.
I'm Hans.
Rosie.
Lead singer, bass player, drummer, guitarist, tenor sax. So for those people who are like, she never has ska on her show. Motherfuckers, we got real ska now on our show. Thank you very much. But you have traveled all the way up here from Austin. So let's talk about, A, how did you find me, and B, come to be here today?
Oh, that's me, yeah. So I guess the long-winded version I'll go with. I do a lot of the booking of the band, so I constantly follow every band we play with, every band we want to play with, and through that, watching their feeds every day obsessively. Where are they playing? What are they doing? I take screenshots of their tour schedules. If you're in a band, it's a good thing to do. And at one point, we started seeing you come up via, I think, the Big News and then Madeline, who are good friends.
Metadata. No.
And so, yeah.
The Big News out of OKC and Madeline
out of
Denton,
Texas. Which we've actually played with both bands many times. And so the second that popped up, I liked your page. I was like, oh yeah.
You did.
And then I realized you were in Wisconsin. So when we were booking this tour, I'm like, oh, we have to do this.
Awesome.
Like, I want to do this, and that's how we found out and hit you up. And
Yay.
we're following y'all. Yeah.
Awesome. And so how do you come to be playing today in Madison? Let's talk about your tour. How did this come to be, and how do you end up on June, what's today? The 2nd?
Third.
I'm already a day behind. And then on 6, right, in Milwaukee?
Yeah.
So tell us about your tour.
I'll start this. So pretty much normally the past few years we've been doing tours on Memorial Day weekend out. And we had began to schedule this. He was going to be out Memorial Day, but we said, let's go ahead and do it again. Take another, 10-plus day trip. And so that's what we've been doing. Then Chris wound up through a series of
unfortunate events.
Unfortunate
Lemony Snicket got involved, goddamn!
His work situation had changed, but we had already scheduled, because we had scheduled this one and another longer tour later. And so now we're up in Wisconsin. We said we wanted to do the Midwest because actually me and Hans and TJ all lived up in various states. We'd hit up.
All Midwestern boys.
Mid-coast.
So just to add on, all the other tours that we had done during this time of year were mostly out to the East Coast, which is where I'm from. And so Hans had kept saying, actually, like, man, we really should go up to Wisconsin. I want to go up to, like, where I'm from. And so this was the tour. We're like, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. And so I plotted part of it, but didn't do the booking, which was a first. Like, I usually do a lot of the booking.
Dad usually does the booking. He was very stressed out.
I was,
work, and so
I had a bad job.
More of the work.
Now he's done with that job, so he can go ahead and book everything else for us. We don't have to do shit anymore. We're
Jobs
happy
are
about
dumb.
I just realized
Jobs up.
your penis is like right by that.
Yeah, it's right here.
So after you leave here, our little kids were like, are they driving right back to Texas?
Let's do it.
God, thank God, no.
I'm sick of them, so.
Besides Wisconsin, your tour takes you where? Go on, mister.
What's that?
Where's your tour take you?
So tonight we're playing in Madison, which is real cool. My brother lives there. And then we're going to play in Milwaukee on Tuesday, and then start heading back down south to Kansas City, Oklahoma City, and Tulsa. So
Oklahoma City and Tulsa with the big news.
Yeah,
with the big
Yeah,
news.
so quit your job today. You should all know that.
Quit your job today.
I played that.
Ain't got no money, but still got bills to pay.
Quit your job.
And to be fair, we started up in Denton, or not in Dallas. We did Dallas first, and then we did Fayetteville, Arkansas, were the first 2 days, and then St. Louis. So.
Which Fayetteville, cool point. I gotta say it. Kurt mentioned it. He was like, there was an all-female band, and there was no all-male bands.
Wow.
Which is strange for punk,
that
you
was
know?
the
It was
first
fun.
time
I
It
never
was
thought about
it was
that.
a
Ever
neat
had a
thing.
show
Yeah,
like that,
yeah. And
which
they
I
were
have
all
to-
really great. It
That's
was all
great.
really
Also, I think that's
different.
the only show where 85-year-olds were there. So
Yeah, that
that's
too.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
Hans's grandparents came.
grandfather came
That's
to the
awesome.
show.
They came out to
It was
support.
pretty sweet.
He was trying to pit,
And he was dancing in
Oh
the back of
my
the
God,
Amazing.
He
with
was,
suspenders.
yeah, I was gonna say he was
Wow.
rocking some suspenders.
That's
and
fucking
it was,
Keeps you young at heart.
Yeah.
I was talking to my dad at that after the show, and he mentioned that because he was talking to Hans's grandfather. Because my dad was there too, because he lives in Fayetteville right now. Well, Siloam, but different story. And he was saying that his grandfather had turned to him. And he's like, "Oh, you know, when I was younger, I would have gotten right into this." And it's like, "Oh shit." Well, you know,
I think he would said, if I had 3 beers.
Hans,
That's the limit.
Get him
Grandpa's
some
limit.
fucking
There's
beer.
3 beers.
Hans, you should tell them what your grandfather said about our music.
oh, yeah, well, the next, I mean, you know, he was nice about it. He was just like, well, I can tell that you guys really, you know, put a lot of effort. It seems like you guys practice a lot, and, like, I can appreciate that, but, like, the end result, I'm not really sure I understand what's going on.
You work really good at practicing to be something I don't understand. I don't even know what that means.
That's a nice way of saying
That's
I
really-
just don't like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
style of music.
Son,
That's like the nicest way ever.
He was
I
very
accept
sweet.
I
the
accept-
choices you've
I
made.
accept
tell other
your
people
life
that.
choices,
do
but I
that.
don't get it.
They won't get it. They'll be like, that was the best
but, like,
compliment
to be
ever.
fair, someone who's 85, like, that's the greatest thing they
That's
can
a great
give you.
compliment,
Like, you know,
yeah.
I don't expect them to.
And when we say
Get
this,
it?
though, his grandmother also was there, and she sat. It was so hot in the room.
It's
and
the
like when we
sweatiest
got there,
show
like
I've ever
no
been in my
no
life.
AC. It was like
It was just
98
fucking
bathroom.
sweaty.
Were they trying
to like
That's right, I pissed on the side of
smoke you out?
Yeah, it was just
Yeah.
like one tiny room.
Get outta here.
So, when we got there before him,
Coming
because like we split up at that point in the day, like I was like, Kurt, like you need to text Hans real quick and like say, hey, Grandma, maybe not come to the show. Not because she's not going to enjoy it. We already know that fact. But because
She's
it's gonna be
old and
100
it's hot.
degrees, and I
I
don't
don't
want
want her to pass
like
out.
we don't.
Like, I don't
Yeah,
want her to
like we'll stop our set to go to the hospital. I just don't want to do it.
Chris
And,
barely made it to the set. He's not even.
oh my God, I had a
Yeah.
box fan behind me and it just blew hot air.
Oh, that's the worst.
But so she was a trooper though, and even though and grandfather total trooper, she sat in the car. They parked it so she could look through the window into the venue. Like, that
That's
was
awesome.
so rad.
She heard the whole
I,
thing.
I'll say
They
that.
won't do that shit in Chicago. They'll be like, you need to move. You need to move.
I will say, all that said, like Fayetteville was actually a fantastic show.
Surprising.
So we're as much as we're complaining about the heat,
It was a
Oh,
highlight
yeah.
of the
it was a
tour. It
fantastic
so fun.
show. They were a lot of fun. Like the people who treated us well there, the kids got into
all the
it,
young
like,
kids were dancing.
All the kids were
All
getting
them
into
kids, they knew what they were doing, dancing
There's-
into that punk and
All right,
ska
we're
music.
digressing. We're digressing. Next
Wait,
Look
one.
at them. They're loving it.
Shout out Witch Sister and the Gebhards were awesome.
They were
Yeah.
great. Thank you guys
Yeah.
so much.
Great. I mean, every band I played with this tour has been great, but it was really cool.
Dude, remember when that one kid started like hardcore dancing?
No.
So
That is,
we
you know,
play
like-
heavy music, and somebody
That's right.
started doing like
It was
you know,
like
the whole
the
like
room was
I'm gonna
like-
windmill, pick up the chain,
Pick up the chain!
and I'm just like,
Did they
and
do
I'm
the lawnmower?
holding- Yeah, no, he did.
Oh, Mike.
And like that's I think when his grandfather walked out the
Methamphetamines did
room,
you?
Oh, wow.
and his father said, "Yeah, I was holding up the wall," like. Because we, as much as we play heavy music, we don't generally play with hardcore crowds, and so I have to say, after
You
what,
would
4
fit in though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
after 4
for
years
sure.
of playing, though, I think that was the first time I saw somebody like, we're going for it.
His grandma's watching.
Yes. Yes.
Here's a question. How do you
All right.
find the bands to play with on tour? How does that work? How do you network and collaborate with folks so that you can set this up to do this?
For this tour in particular, it was a matter of just
We asked American Discord, and they've been to every city in the world, and they just gave us a list
yeah,
of bands.
them and Boss's Daughter are actually two. I will say this right now, yeah, American Discord and Boss's Daughter, who are Boss's Daughter out of Reno, American Discord out of Kansas City, two great friends. We've hit them up, and they will tell us, you know, they're willing to talk. They're nice guys, and they're amazing bands. On top of that, sometimes
And
you
big
just got
news.
and big news. Actually, yeah,
That's how we got-
that's how we got the Oklahoma shows.
And I'm from
And y'all.
Kansas City, so I am actually getting my old band back together for a reunion, which is going to be
Blues
fun.
Brothers.
other than that,
I should also say, Josh who was playing with Some Kind of Nightmare, and he does Milwaukee Punk.
He watched today.
Milwaukee Punk. Oh,
Thanks,
see that?
Josh.
Well, he helped set up our show at Quarters, and
he's gonna start working with us in collaboration to do stuff.
And
There
we're
you
playing
go,
with
and
Hans's brothers band tonight. And they're I'm super
Brunch
excited.
Boys!
Follow Brunch Boys on
It's their first
Instagram.
show.
What are they described?
Oh.
But what are they described as?
they're an experimental brunch punk rap band.
Brunch punk
We
rap.
don't understand
Yes, I
it.
want to hear
Check out their
this.
hit song. Follow us on Instagram.
But
Hashtag
anyways,
follow us on Instagram. I can't like it if it's not hashtag.
Oh, that's a good call.
but that said,
Also LinkedIn.
a lot of the touring
Gotta
winds
be
up
professional.
being having to talk to people you've met while you played, and also a lot of cold calls. I mean, you'll talk about you're trying to book a show and
Cold calls? You used a phone to call these bands?
yeah, I got my rotary phone out and I twisted it and I called and I said, "Is this Witch Sister?" "No, it's not." "Okay, I'm gonna try."
Which sister is it?
Which is which?
Drinkin.
And we're
Drinkin.
but yeah, no, it's a lot of you gotta message people and say, "Hey, you free? You free?" And then some bands, and I get it. Sometimes you're busy.
I will
and-
say the lamest thing ever in regards to booking. Usually when I book for us, I actually use Reverb Nation.
Okay.
Why is that?
That's not lame.
Not lame.
Oh, Reverb Nation's terrible.
No, you're the
Listen,
one
they
to
want
say
to
that.
sponsor
Yeah,
us.
hold on, back up.
Wait.
Unless you sponsor us, we
Yeah.
love you.
We do not
What?
agree with what I'm saying.
Well, it's terrible in the sense like young
Your guy.
adults. Hold on, young adults,
just like-
millennials, the crowd we kind of want to come to our shows do not use Reverb Nation. But
That's funny.
Reverb Nation
Mexicans
is a
do.
great way to
They do. In
do a
Los
city
Curados, they
search,
do.
find what they call their top 10, which as a band on Reverb Nation, it's a weird algorithm that's weird BS. But I use it to find those top 10 bands that they say, and then I just go to their Facebook pages to see, are they posting? Are they active? Are they actually bands? So I use Reverb to hear a bit of the song, go, okay, these guys like have their shit together enough that we can, like they're not 1 month into being a band, like they actually have recording, it's not just a live thing.
There's nothing wrong with
We've had those.
cross-checking like that,
Well, they've
though.
been
No,
like, we're a
yeah.
band, and I'm like, you have no social media. They're like, well, we just started. And
Yeah,
no, they don't
so-
even have that. This guy didn't know anything about his own goddamn band.
Yeah, and I look at it this way, like
Now he has a music
Not
video.
that we're gonna name names.
but if you're going to a city you've never been to before, you can't play with the band that's not done anything, right? You want to make sure that you are
Unless
joining
they're the
with,
Brunch Boys, and then
yeah.
you do want
But,
to.
Family counts.
all right, but we didn't play Chicago because I think in the long run we were trying to work with a
we
band.
did play that secret show.
It was secret, but we didn't play Chicago because we were trying to work with a band that
Not a real venue.
I don't know. And this, I'm not shitting on them, but I don't know that they
It's
were
okay if you
actively.
do.
No, but I don't even know the band. I don't know if they were actively out there like booking shows or working with venues. Where like in Austin, Austin's a weird scene, but like we have places that we can help book a show, that we can help put you up, that we can do
Yeah,
things.
even if we can't play.
Chicago's got a really weird scene.
And we
going
know,
on.
and we actually know, but we know Ian from Voice of
Steve
Addiction
Urkel.
Oh,
and
okay.
Wrecking Ball Productions.
Cancel that.
But
He's
Voice
on
of
tour right now.
Yeah, that's the problem. Not the problem.
Yeah,
they're on
Ian's
tour.
gone in California right now.
Yeah, so Ian
Thanks,
was like,
Ian.
Yeah, Ian was like, hey, we can help you out.
I am
Here's a
in.
bunch of bands.
It's all about us.
Nonetheless, like
That's why you
Reverb
can't post
Nation's a
on their
great
page.
way to like find some of that list, cross-reference on Facebook. Are you posting actively? Are you actually booking? Hey, I'll message. Are you interested in doing a show? Do you have it in a venue, or do you want me to help book it? I'll cold call the venue. I don't care.
Cool.
And so if I hit a band that goes,
fans
oh,
with the phone
yeah, like, hey, I'm really good at this place or this place. Cool, can you help book it? And then we'll do the show together and we'll figure out the rest.
I'm going to go ahead and give big props to Big News because that's what happened in Oklahoma City. I was able to hit them up.
Thanks, Dad.
We had played with them, and I love those guys. And I was able to hit them up for Oklahoma City and Tulsa and say, hey, we're going to be in these two cities. Will you guys help us book something? And they went out of their way. They booked both the cities. They got them there, and it's going to be fantastic shows because, like, they play both of them. They know us, and they're willing to stick their neck out for us. So once again, thank you guys. But also that's the mentality that we hope to have too. Is the idea
Yeah,
that
for
if you-
any band that comes to Austin, like, just seriously, like, hit us up. Like,
If we can't play,
the show, we'll
we'll-
try and connect you with someone.
exactly.
And we have a tiny fucking
Do it.
house
Promo.
with a cat, but you can still stay there.
Promo if you come to Austin, though.
Don't be allergic to cats.
Don't be allergic to cats.
I mean, you can
We
sleep
can't-
outside.
I'm allergic
I have
to
a
cats.
hammock, but
can't guarantee
I'm
you'll get
sweaty
paid.
in Texas.
No, we can't
See?
guarantee you in
So-
Austin because
Just,
Holy shit!
yeah.
Listen to this, because
We-
this is not apparently a new thing.
This
No.
is an educational. This is an
Yeah.
That's why we do this. We have the more you know fucking section on the show.
You probably just shouldn't take advice from us in general, so.
Yeah.
that's true.
Sorry,
No.
go ahead, granted.
Like, here, there's not a lot of venues that play in Austin for punk rock, ska, hardcore, etc.
And
other than
increasingly
house shows.
less as
And
it
yeah,
becomes
we've lost a
gentrified.
bunch of them. But
And you'll
look,
be
we
competing
have
with
great
5
places
other
that will
shows,
give us the
whatever night you
room.
play.
They'll let us run the door. But here's the thing: Austin rides on this one thing about being the live, music capital of the country, the world. Yeah, there's like 90 stages every night. So if you're working with a venue, someone's going to go, hey, give me a guarantee of 100, 150. The venue's going to go, yeah, there's like 30 other bands that will
No,
do
I
it for
can't
free.
guarantee
It's a
So,
tough market there.
We don't really get paid in Austin. In fact, if you go to Texas, Houston is our best city we play. We get paid well from the venues. We do well in
You gotta
merch.
have a fiddle in the band.
Yeah, I would say Dallas Rosie and I also play in a second band, Los Corrados. I'm just going to mention.
They're gonna come out here too
This is
sometime.
all.
Yeah, but anyway,
Yeah,
I'll say they've had good luck in Dallas, and so has Hans Gruber. Dallas has been good to us, and San Antonio too. We just played down at High Tones with Sketchy Trench, who those guys are
Great band.
amazing, but they all do better for money. I'm not saying you're not going to get good shows in Austin.
Right.
You're going to get great
It's a weird
shows.
catch-22.
Yeah.
So bring your merch and fucking market
Well,
yourself.
that's the thing. Like so our favorite venue in Austin that we currently play is called Kick Butt Coffee. It is literally a coffee shop that has alcohol, has food.
yeah.
Literally kick
It's
butt.
pretty.
It is kick butt.
It's
a
kicking
great
lots of
show.
asses.
During the day, the
By
whole
asses,
staff
I mean
wears like
donkeys.
karate uniforms and stuff.
Oh my god, I want to go there.
And at
So-
night, they all wear
at night-
Hans Gruber shirts.
Yeah,
So
they remove all the
They do.
furniture. They actually have a good stage. They have some of the best sound
great
engineers
sound.
in town.
Really,
Yeah.
It's unreal.
Is it Ernie? Is that his
Thanks,
name?
Ernie.
Ernie.
Yeah,
Ernie,
Ernie's the best.
man, Ernie, you're the best. You're
So-
probably not watching, but he's amazing.
You know,
And share it with
and,
us.
I was
but
gonna
they give
say,
us the
share
option
it.
too. They say, hey, like, do you if you want to run the door, you run the door. If you don't, you don't. And what we found in Austin, as much as you want to run the door and make a few dollars on it, nobody really wants to go to shows and pay in Austin. That's the overall arching thing. is that
Really? We're
They're
spoiled.
spoiled. Yeah. Because
not complaining.
every
It's
venue
great. I
has
get to
so
go
much
to free
going on.
shows
There's
all
so
the
much
time.
music.
absolutely.
That
So you have to
that's
establish something with the venue that they would hopefully pay you at the end based
No,
on something.
actually, honestly, we ride it on merch.
Awesome.
That's the thing is we ride those shows on merch and we tell other bands we will do a donation cup and occasionally if it's a bigger band
Like a
we will
touring
go ahead
band.
and try to do a door.
Isn't it the port that does a fraction of beer sales or
Yep.
something? Yeah.
Well, and
We
so
usually
We
drink
need to
our
figure that shit
fraction
out.
of
Like
the
a-
beer.
You were sabbatic.
We spend all
last
our money.
Friday, and that was the thing. We'll give
Right.
you the sale, and they were like, "Your tab is already closed and exceeded," and they were
So-
like,
there,
"I want a shot of whiskey."
there are venues that will give the band a bar tab. There are venues that will give 10% of the bar to the bands.
10%.
But
Listen,
all the bands,
bitches
all
up
the
here,
bands, all
that's
the bands.
20. So
All
like,
the bands.
yeah.
So, granted, an average bar can make $2,000-3,000 a night. It's a few $100. Split between 3 to 4 bands. It's not a bad night.
That being said, I mean,
And if you're a
That being
good
said-
band and a decent person, more than likely Alyssa and Daniel are gonna get you drunk at the kitchen.
that's true.
And I'll also go ahead and say real fast though. I mean, there are venues in Austin that generally
Always pay one.
you will get paid more. And like a shout out to Flamingo Cantina,
Yeah.
they
Thanks,
will
Angela.
do that. But they generally are going to play more too. And this is just a thing. They do a lot of reggae and more Latin music.
But because reggae is connected to ska, sometimes
You got
the
we get it. We get it. We
Can't
get
get
it.
it. But I'll
Sometimes.
say that it's just like, and it's like I said, I love the venue and I love Angela. You're amazing, Angela. Thank you.
There's a lot of places in Austin that have like been taken over by pretty big booking companies, which is cool too. But the one thing about that particular venue is like It's one lady.
And it's not just them.
She owned it since like the fucking
Are we
80s.
gonna be
And
like
Kick
Butt's
Butt
the
too.
same.
this footage or all these planes and
Yeah.
and everyone?
It's the government. They're watching.
Yeah,
Oh,
Kick
we
Butt's
know.
the same though.
We
Kick
know.
Butt's
They're all
also
reptilians.
the government.
Yes,
I wanna
okay.
talk about that.
We're all on a list.
Okay,
somewhere.
let's
We
talk
did-
about our
we did-
reptilian
What's that
overlords for a
question
bit.
again?
I know.
Jess.
We didn't play the song, but
I like you guys, so I'm just drinking beer and listening.
reptilian
Because
overlords are taking over.
I have
Yeah.
learned.
We didn't sing that
so
song
let's
on
go
the
ahead and
set.
talk about this real fast.
On
You
the
know, you gotta watch out for those reptilian overlords. There's something.
Are we
know,
calling
Okay,
calling
so
it?
hold on.
What
when,
happened?
When I first started this band, well, I didn't start it.
Yeah,
but
we all
when-
started
how many
together.
reptilians were in it?
That was gonna be my
when
next
we
question.
all just started, Kurt had this song called Scaling Down, and it's about like the reptilian overlords, how they run the government and shit. And I was like, dude, this is hilarious.
That's
But
awesome.
now, a couple years later, I'm like actually scared of that stuff.
Like it's being a
dude,
reality.
like the deep state, like
It's the whole.
all
I'm
the
like,
skater
oh,
dudes
this
I
isn't
know
really
like
funny
very
anymore.
much
This
believe
is
in all of
So,
that.
so I'll put it this
Yeah.
way. Chris came recently with an absolutely amazing, catchy ska song called "The Earth's Flat."
that's another thing.
And
no,
That's
no,
true.
the Earth is not flat.
No, no,
Okay,
we
now
don't
hold
believe
on.
it.
Wait. Hans, let me finish, and
All
you
right.
can go on your dumb rant. So, I will say this. He
Get
came
along
with
so
it,
well.
and I turned to TJ and I said, "Well, to be fair, if someone came up to me tomorrow and said all the government officials are reptiles, I would find it more believable than the Earth being flat."
Okay, so
So
I
now go ahead and go on your
No,
dumb
I just
fucking
have
rant.
one little thing. So you know how the moon orbits the Earth?
Yes.
Supposedly orbits the Earth. So when you look at the moon, you only see one side of the moon, right?
Yes,
Forever.
because it rotates.
Because it
as
perfectly
it goes
rotates.
through its
This is
orbit.
What are the odds
Science.
that the moon would just perfectly rotate around the Earth like that? Like you think it'd be spinning on its own axis, right?
What?
Because our gravity is
The
so
moon doesn't
strong
spin
that
on
it
its own
affects
axis.
the
Well,
moon
Hey, can I
as it
mention that this
spins.
guy's a
Yes.
fucking engineer?
There also is no gravity. It's all
This
magnets.
guy's
so.
one of the smartest guys in the band, and he's a fucking dumbass
So,
too.
wait,
If we've learned anything
all
from
dumb.
ICP, it's that we don't know how magnets work.
when I
Miracles.
wrote
We love
this
you,
new
ICP.
song, hold
Don't
on.
hate us.
We want to.
I just want to go into this really
don't know
quick
if we
because
love you.
I think flat Earth people are the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. I think.
Hey, we don't want to. We
Hey,
don't
hey,
want
we
to.
don't-
No, we
Hey,
can.
listen,
Hans
we don't
Gruber is
want
looking
our
for
band
a
for
new
science.
guitar
We love you, Globies.
What? Yeah.
Yeah, we're sick of the Globies.
We're
Do
sick
you know
of
what's
the Globies.
important is that everybody has a voice. It doesn't
Globies
matter
are
what you
people
say.
that
It's
can
just
hear
important
good.
that everybody's voice is equal.
Good
So-
job.
We
Well,
all need to be
except for the dumb
validated and we
ones.
all need to be
Yes,
heard.
it doesn't matter what you say.
That's
It's
not
just
true.
What if your voice is saying
I don't
that
believe this.
people of color are inferior and the Earth is
Equal.
flat? When
Everything-
really
We're not
you're
going there.
playing
You
and
have
you
to.
know
No, we did not
no.
believe that. That was a fucking joke. You're an asshole.
all that matters is that everybody has a voice. It doesn't matter what you say, if you're right or wrong. It just matters that everybody has a voice.
Hey! And we're back! It's Jess the Ska Kid. We're gonna round up these guys. My next question before we devolve into anarchy. When you go on tour,
You're wearing a fishbone
here's the
shirt.
thing.
I should have
Hey,
worn my
Dude,
shirt.
I love
That's fucking
Fishbone.
racism.
right, it worked perfect.
Yeah.
But my question I wanted to know about, because you said that if people come to Austin that they might not
Jesus
get
was an
paid.
anarchist.
Keep going.
He was.
Do you expect to get paid when you go on tour? And do you book places specific
Hell
to where
yeah.
you'll get paid? And would you take a show that didn't pay you? Because
We-
you already experienced that and have knowledge of that back
Yeah.
there.
We
So,
A new hope.
so we can say this. I have a motto with the band, which is we have no expectations.
we don't owe
we are
anyone
owed
anything.
nothing.
but do you have great expectations?
We on how
Please, sir, may I
on how we play and what
yeah.
we do. We have
Charles
high
Dickens.
expectations.
Ooh, I've got a good Charles Dickens joke that I can tell right now.
Yeah.
But or you can finish that. Sorry, finish that.
I look at it this way: we are owed nothing, right? Like we're it doesn't matter.
Flat Earth.
It just doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. But we're truly owed nothing. So like,
Skip it,
I
Rob.
want venues to support local music and do guarantees and help pay. This is gonna be really cynical, but like, there's been a shift in the way that bands and venues work together.
Yes.
So venues don't do their part, and a lot of bands don't do their part, and it's really confusing. Like, when we go on tour, granted we didn't send you on, but all the venues we are playing, We send posters. We pay for Facebook ads.
Ah,
We're not from the areas we're playing, so there's only so much we can
good.
do. But we pay for it. We send them out. We ask other bands to do it as well. If
That's the hardest thing, right?
Yeah.
Right. Nobody wants to buy into like promoting themselves or
But
others.
you have to do it. But
And you
venues
can't
also.
get mad. You can't get mad if like a bunch of people don't show up. Like we played St. Louis on a Friday night, and there went a lot of people there, and the bartender was like apologizing to us, and we're like, "No, we've never played.
We've never played St. Louis. Like, we don't have a reason to be upset.
Like,
We're not out of the crowd. We want one.
like,
we hope for
love
one.
you.
Venues-
We're just happy to have like 5 new people hear us.
Venues on the same end, I think currently, like in the country, aren't putting their money behind their venue. So venues used to have an identity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we can name famous venues throughout the country that used to have an identity, and I think
Red
that's
Eyed
gone.
Fly.
Not Red Eye Fly, but CBGB's or the Tune In or the Knitting Factory. Like there were certain places in the country, emos in Austin, Texas, actually, right? They were places that had an identity for doing subculture, underground
But
music
there's a
that were
band called
fucking
Fuck
phenomenal.
Emos, so even emos didn't please
That's true,
everybody.
but there were
Literally a
there were
band called the
places
Fuck
that
Emos
had their
that play
thing,
across the street.
and they promoted that one thing. And nowadays, like it doesn't matter the genres that they build on, but they barely spend money for any local publication.
Do you know
or online.
why, though? Because as a promoter who works with 2 venues in town, I can tell you why there isn't money put behind it. Because it's almost as if the music industry has made so many barriers that trying to help bands costs an exorbitant amount, so that a venue now, even based on how much they draw in, doesn't break even. They're actually under for the night when a band comes to play. So because you own, specifically, and we'll talk Kenosha. In Kenosha, the 2 venues that I booked for, it costs probably $4,000 for them to allow bands to do a show. Because they're a venue, they have to pay a higher price for electricity. They have to get a PA and a sound guy, and those run about $600 to start to $1,000. The sound guys around here are like, fuck you, we're not doing it. Unless you bring your own PA. Then you have to find a PA. Those things cost money unless you personally own one and you have invested in it yourself. Then, and here's a fun thing, if you put a press kit together and you say that this band is coming, you owe 3 different publication companies over $1,000 to be able to publish that because of royalties. If you play a cover song, they are then covered.
I don't think it's that bad in Austin.
No,
No, that exists.
But this is becoming such a thing, which is why the music industry in certain regards is dying. Because we're fucking making it so expensive to do, and the camaraderie of, I own a venue, I want you to play, I'm going to make sure that I do my job so that you guys get at least gas money, isn't happening because I need to make sure I bring people in so that I can fucking even do a show. And so there needs to be a different paradigm, a shift in mental thinking, motherfuckers.
Also, there's
That we work together like what we're doing with this show, so that everyone has a place to play and a voice.
The venues don't realize that like almost anyone that would come to our show is an alcoholic, and the more people they get there, the more they're gonna make.
But that's
money.
not true. The venues here in town have said, because they can't pay bands, they usually have a cover. So what happens is that
I want to know what this kid thinks about the state of venues. He probably knows more than I do.
This was all new when I kind of got hired on and started doing this as a thing. They said that people who come to shows drink less because they spend money on either merch or actually getting in. That's here. I know. That's it. That's
Our drummer alone spends more money on booze than we make in merch sales.
I said I'm the beer guy in the band.
oh, you're the beer guy, Van Dad. Holy fuck!
So let me go ahead and just say.
Hey, Dad, I'm not a cowboy. I'm just a drunk punk. Sorry. R.I.P. Stenson.
All right. So I will say though, like that said, I mean there's a bunch of venues that are fantastic, and let me go ahead and just off the top of my head, both the High Tones and Flamingo, I've actually worked with both of them, and single-handedly they will promote all the shows that we've played at both venues, and so they actually, there are ones out there that still actually do it, because they know that they You do, and Kick Butt does too. Also too.
I don't know
always-
how. Maybe we
all
should
the
ask
time.
them. We need to
And
interview
so, like,
them.
I would say is like the point is like
Send them our way.
there are
We'll do
ones,
it.
and these are Texas ones, obviously.
The Rhino in Kansas City. I haven't even
Yeah.
played there yet.
Okay.
And I
I
know
honestly gotta say, you guys gotta realize. I can say this because I'm from Wisconsin. When you're talking about like San Antonio, Texas, Dallas, Austin, it's all the same shit to everyone here. They're just like
Yeah.
Texas.
No, they're different cities.
Yeah.
We're educated,
Wow,
so
yeah.
we know.
I'm from a small town.
Dinosaurs are real in the
Second is wrong, but it's okay.
No, I swear to God, like when I moved to Austin, people were just like, "So is it mostly just like country music there?" And it's like, yeah.
No, there's
I mean,
culture there. It
country
exists.
music.
We know that.
It's great Mexican
TJ
food
wants
in
the floor.
Austin.
Why is
So-
Jesus an anarchist? Because I agree with
He's
you.
like
When
a
asked
Chico's tax
about
table.
the taxes, they were like, what is this deal with Caesar asking us taxes or taxing us? And he says, I'm a little drunk, sorry.
Give to
He
Caesar.
he says, give to Caesar. Yeah, he says, give to Caesar what is Caesar's, and give to what is God is God. But then to pay his taxes, he grabs a fish out of the lake and he pulls a coin out of the fish, and he's like, give to Caesar. That's the most punk rock thing ever. He's like, you gotta pay your taxes. And
If
then he
only I
grabs a
could do
fish
that.
and pulls a coin out.
And then
of it.
also he proceeds
He's
to
like,
later,
"Here you go."
but right before he gets crucified, he fucking grabs those tables and fucks them up.
Yeah, he's like, fuck bankers. You
I
guys
don't
are
know any of
assholes.
these stories.
You don't? He runs into the temple.
no,
You
no.
never read your Bible?
No.
God damn.
He grew up
No.
Catholic.
fucking
Of course he
no.
didn't read his
I have
Bible.
no idea what you're talking
By the
about.
way, on tour,
You
they
could be
decided-
lying out of your ass.
He's
and I would
not,
have
though.
No
That's
idea
a
the
real
difference.
thing.
They're
That's
gonna
a
write a song
that's
about
some
me being a
biblical
heathen.
fucking
In
shit.
fact, it
Our
sounds
next
like.
hit
Well,
song
but
is
it's
called-
saved heathen
it's
because
called
he's
Daddy
been
is a
baptized
Goddamn
Catholic,
Heathen.
so
Yeah.
he's already saved. He doesn't know it, but he's saved.
So you guys have merch for sale. Right? Hallelujah. Praise Jesus. Amen. My neighbors are going to hate us. But
Material possessions
we saw
are
live.
bullshit.
they're going to sell it on the temple so their tables can get fucked
Yeah,
up
you
too.
can flip our
Thanks, Jesus.
tables.
Why don't we do a video like that?
What now to do?
Hey,
about
the best band
Jesus
shows
of
I've ever played
Nazareth,
prior to this band
miracle
were churches and
wonder,
synagogues.
Yeah, I grew up going to church shows.
Right? No, Jesus Christ Superstars?
Oh,
that
no,
was on
I've never
Okay.
seen it.
That was in Godspell.
I remember Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor
Technicolor
Dreamcoat.
Dreamcoat.
See that either.
I didn't
Well,
see it either.
He does a dream car.
I thought you all just said your culture. Yeah.
Racer, maybe.
No, we're
So
aware
when
that
Jesus was
Texas
driving his
has
Technicolor
culture.
dream
Different
car,
I have
cities.
none.
So far,
So
what
do
we've
you-
learned is that when you're trying to be a band, don't be us.
Yeah.
We're terrible role models.
You guys
Yes,
are
it
fucking
doesn't matter.
awesome.
This is probably the
I-
best interview we've had so
See,
far.
but we've been hitting them on the mark lately, but your performance was fucking by far killer.
Oh, God.
I loved it. Because normally we don't have ska bands or ska core or ska punk bands come play in the basement. They're all so far away that we've done phone interviews and then played their albums they sent, which I'm super appreciative of because I know that they'll remember us when they go on tour. And we can help them because we are of the ideology
you
that
hear
we
that
do
big
promote.
news in Madeline? You guys need to come here, apparently.
They
That's
remember
the
them
story.
here on
Get
tour.
here.
Yes.
And they're not ska, but Boss's daughter should come.
Yeah, Boston
Anybody
Daughter,
can
you
come
guys
here
need to
because
come
this platform is designed for fucking everybody.
Everybody.
That's the point. But
How was
you
that?
guys
Texas.
rocked. How would you? What are your influences? I watch you, and you're a fucking amazing frontman. You're just like
Oh,
and the
absolutely.
people around here that I know go to shows would be like, that guy is fucking awesome. You look fucking crazy,
Oh, it's
and you
awesome.
get us involved
In the best way.
You get the audience to want to engage with
You
you.
brought our kids out there. It's great.
I was just saying earlier, like in the band,
Bill
that, like,
Pineapple,
I
please.
think you do have to be crazy to be in a band. Like a normal person would not want this life. Like Hans was saying, all the people, like say what you said about all the people you work with. Like they're like very smart and punctual, but like they would like this only appeals to someone that's at least a little bit crazy. I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes you get really frustrated with bands who are just like flaky and like, dude, how do you not understand? Like, we told you, like, the show starts now, and now you're telling me, like, we can't play because, if, like, you can't get off work or whatever. And then it's like, yeah, but there is a certain element. I think kind of like artistically minded people are just maybe a little more whatever.
Like the Brian Wilson
It's our
syndrome.
neighbor.
But we're
Yeah,
not.
like Brian
We're
Wilson, like obviously he's a complete genius, but there's something like actually, maybe
There's a few things wrong.
there's like sometimes I think people are just hyperly like tuned into stuff, like honestly that I'm not even tuned into, but like it's like people who are super artistic are kind of like seeing things. I mean, actually, just
in
to
a
be
very
whatever.
non-westernized like way, I think is part of it.
Well, hell, hold on, I didn't say anything about that, but.
That was you.
So,
Whatever, I go on the
Just
Reddit.
I
kidding.
agree with Rosie.
I'm sorry.
My influences are Blaster the Rocket Man, Goaty Hook, Voice of the Mysterions, Groovy Ghoulies, the Methadones.
Cappy.
Obviously Cappy Ghoulie. He played in my living room on Valentine's
It was a fucking awesome
Ooh.
show,
Yeah,
too.
we
That's
did.
awesome.
We did an end of the world party.
Yeah.
And TJ flew
Ghostbusters.
Cappy Gooley in.
Ghostbusters 2. The world ended on February 14th, 2016, and I threw the best end of the world party. All of our spirits were raptured into the sky, and we're just empty shells right now, basically.
It's actually
It's
all
true.
happened. It was
But
great.
the point I'm trying to make is that we all like different styles of punk, and so I just listed several of them. A Squad 5-0.
Oh.
Anyway, go on, you guys.
What made you want to add the
No,
saxophone?
you gotta tell them they didn't say their influences.
Oh.
Because they like completely
But
different
I like that
bands than I do.
question.
Go ahead and go. Rosie. Why don't you go next?
My influences?
Yeah.
Oh god, that's hard
Group
because
participation. Your turn.
You only get 3.
None of us like
Three.
the same style of punk.
Three.
We all like
Three.
punk, but we don't like the same style.
Is there one band we could all agree that we like, though, at least?
Hans
There was
Gruber and the
one.
Diehards.
No, there was one that Rancid. We
answer
all
like
Rancid.
And that's like
Well,
the most
yeah,
the
well,
popular, like
Well,
normal,
well,
like
that's the only
okay.
band we all agree on.
I read a thread
about Los
recently where
Colados?
someone
Are you
was
guys
like,
thinking-
I don't like Rancid anyway. I don't like
Dude,
skinheads. I'm like,
I meant like band. Not like
Yeah.
band.
what?
I feel like
So
a lot of
Rosie.
people hate Rancid.
They
Like,
do,
they're like
but
the
they
cool band
secretly
hate
listen
on.
to it
Come
alone in their
on.
bedrooms and they learn how to dance.
So Rosie,
Don't fucking lie to us. We know how that
Rosie,
goes.
I did it
you
with
got
that
3
next
bands,
band.
Rosie.
Okay, well, Fishbone is one big one because Angelo Moore is like a crazy sax player and
Yes.
he'll jump all over the fucking place, and I don't even know how he does that shit and how he has like the capacity to be like, oh, I can't even do it like this while he's playing. I don't know.
Yes.
And so that's one.
Lots of cardio?
Yeah,
Yes.
I know. It's fucking crazy. I can't
He's
do that
amazing.
shit.
He really is.
He
Yeah,
does
I mean, I love
He does
but
the
they can't-
insanity workouts.
You can't put
Yeah,
dance into your cardio, my fitness pal. Trust me, I tried.
I know,
It
right?
doesn't work.
You're just gonna make
No,
things up. You're like
trust me,
cleaning
I know
for half an hour.
too.
So that's one. I mean, I love all of Fishbone, but Angelo, just because he plays the sax, is like a special place in my heart. You know, honestly, of all people, Los Carnales, they're out of Houston, but they're such a good live show, and like
And great guys.
they're inspiring because they're always so warm and welcoming, and like they're so much older than us, but they're just so supportive.
And we're playing with them June 23rd.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a fucking
Cantina.
awesome show, yeah.
Oh God, and what's my third? I don't know.
You're on the spot!
I guess I'll say Choking Victim because it's like
Yes.
crazy as fuck,
Yes.
and
I think we do all like.
rest in
Yeah,
peace.
we all.
Rest in peace, Stenson Many Mules, guy on the res who always covered infested, and he was just badass. And anyway,
Hans,
sure.
what
There
are
it
your
is.
3, Hans? You're next.
Can I say Fishbone? Because I really
can.
like
Yeah, you
Fishbone.
can.
You can say him twice.
Yeah, I really like Fishbone. Actually, you know, I like Blue Meanies a lot. Like,
Oh, they're
from Chicago,
awesome.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I
me
saw
into
them a few
Fishbone.
years ago, and they had like, they were singing with the bullhorn, and I was like, I love you guys. So.
Oh,
I mean, I
man,
guess
I've
we-
never seen them
We
live
have to
or
mention
anything.
Fire and Frenzy because a bunch of us started with, you know,
Yeah.
that was the
And
first.
the Dingies, because Angelo Moore played on a Dingies
That's
album.
true.
And I just learned that when Hans got me into Fishbone, and I was like, oh wow, he actually played on.
What's your third, Hans?
Hans.
Oh, man. Dude, I don't know. I like, I like Earth, Wind, and Fire a lot. They're
There
cool.
you go.
What about the Peanuts, the Charlie Brown Christmas album?
Schroeder?
Oh, yeah, dude. What's that guy's name?
Schroeder.
Chuck Giraldi. That guy can play piano.
We definitely have a piano in Hans Gruber. In our new hit
I
single.
like Louis
Fur Baby.
Armstrong a lot. Because of trumpet. But yeah, I don't know. I guess Chris probably's got some bands.
Your turn.
I like nothing.
Do you like Women Suicide?
I like nothing.
No, my influences are weird, man. I love a lot of pop and pop sensibility. So
The Josie and the Pussycats.
I do.
soundtrack.
Oh,
Dude, show me
Hey.
your tattoo in your leg.
yeah. Well, it's not Chosen Pussycat, so it's weird. But yeah, I love pop music. So Billy Joel
Yeah?
is like one of my favorite things ever. Bad Religion and Weezer. Yeah.
I like Weezer.
No, granted, like we could talk punk and ska for fucking days, but those are the things. Yeah, we're sober for days and days and days.
Whoa, don't give
Oh,
away.
yeah.
Violet Femmes,
we
that's
put that
another
out?
one. They're like from here, right? Milwaukee,
Okay.
yeah. We should play with them. See if
I'll
they want
let
to play
you.
with us on Tuesday.
I'll let
Violet
you.
Femmes, come to quarters on Tuesday, and we might let you use our equipment. I don't know. Is it cool if they use our equipment?
I mean, if there's an extra
If they
beer
need a
floating around.
saxophone. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I want
Is that a good joke?
We call our drummer Dad because he's even though well,
Is
first
there
of all, he's an
anyone
alcoholic,
watching this
like
right
my
now?
real dad.
My friend's in
Secondly,
Zuni, New Mexico.
He's
Yeah.
Not alcohol.
he's not an alcoholic. I was
Here,
a joke.
can we pass
That was a
these to Mike?
joke.
Mike.
I like
Keep
how I'm
talking.
trying to tell a story and there's just stuff happening around me.
There,
Anyway,
that's the
he's our
because
tour
it's
dad.
raw.
He's our tour dad, and the point I'm trying to make is that we should get the Violent Femmes to play a show with us because I like that song. Come on, Dad, give me the car tonight. Come on, Dad. You know that one?
We saw the Violent Femmes, didn't we? In Milwaukee? I'm losing my voice.
Oh my God.
He ain't paying attention.
Hey, ask us another question. I
All right.
totally
Are there
lost it.
any?
Oh, Kurt hasn't done his
Kurt!
bands.
Yeah.
I'll say I'm Cab Calloway.
Cab Calloway, good
I
call.
love them. Slim Cessna's Auto Club. I love them. They're out
Oh,
of
you
Denver.
like them?
I love Slim
How
Cessna's
come
Auto
you never
Club.
listen to them when you're driving?
I apologize because this is how we do things in the country. Is one of the best songs ever made. Toots and the Maytals specials and
Toots.
I mean,
Good show.
in terms of punk, I've always held it F minus, and it was Career Suicide out of I think Toronto are
Career
two
Suicide.
of my absolute favorite.
Rats in the wall. Remember them?
Oh, they're and their singer, the lead singer, left the band. I don't remember why, but she left the band recently. Which also I'm disappointed about. I mean the specials and stuff like that.
I think we all like the Blues Brothers.
We do all like the Blues Brothers.
That was what was great about seeing Toots and the Maytals live is it felt like at the end of 54-46 it felt like a fucking Blues Brothers like James Brown. It was like
Everyone was getting saved at the end of that. At the
Dude,
end of the no.
such a sing-along.
When you watch Toots
It's
and the
badass.
Maytals, everyone in the
It's
crowd
badass.
they got saved. The hallelujahs, your hands were in the air. You didn't realize it,
no matter
but
what.
It happened.
it happened.
happened.
You know, you felt water getting sprinkled in your face. You didn't think so, but you were saved. You got baptized.
Are we sure it was water?
You're really focused on the safe thing.
Did you not hear our song? We got blood
saw the
moon.
light.
We got the end of the world.
I loved this morning when we woke up. I was like, "Hey, let's check out their page and make sure they're still coming, whatever." And I did that, and then we watched your videos, and I was like, "These are fucking awesome."
That's mostly Kurt does the work for them.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about your music videos.
I came up with the idea for Lunar Teeny though,
Yeah.
which is
I
a
love
very
that song.
obscure a movie that Bill Murray was in 1984,
He knows that.
and it was written by one of the original writers of SNL, Tom Schiller, and it was such a weird movie that MGM Studios, they had like one like disaster test screening where nobody liked it, and they were just like, we have no idea how to market this to anyone, so they just shelved the whole movie, so it's never been released. But Tom Schiller will occasionally show up.
I just see, how do you like watch it?
The director-writer
on
will
YouTube
occasionally
or
show up
what?
to like,
Sometimes. It's not
to like a
always.
city with a 35mm print of it and show it.
This is
So
how
they
history
showed it
are,
at the
guys.
Alamo Draft House.
That's
and
fucking
I saw it
cool.
twice.
You're out of beer.
Chris,
Dude,
sit down,
that's
I'm
some
trying
like
to tell a
serious
story.
like pirate underground.
Anyway,
like,
yeah, so
movie
this movie's
streaming.
awesome. Like, if you can find it, which it's super hard to find. Like, Bill Murray's in it, Dan Aykroyd. The kid from Gremlins is the main character.
Holy shit!
And he
Oh,
did
we're
it.
talking about Nothing Lasts Forever?
Yeah, and he did it for a film credit. Basically, he didn't even get paid. He was just like, oh, I get to work with like the SNL people. Like Dan
I
Aykroyd,
fucking
Bill
do
Murray.
that for
Yeah.
free.
So he thought it was gonna be like a party, like Caddyshack, where they're all like getting drunk and high the whole time. But they filmed it right after Belushi died, so everybody was just fucking depressed.
We're
So
sober.
he was like, Bill Murray was like an asshole to me the whole time. Like everyone, like it was just like a funeral on set.
So, yeah?
But it's a great,
So,
beautiful,
the reason-
weird, artsy movie.
The way we filmed it, we were in Chris's school that he
Former
worked
fuck
at.
college.
So we
Former
did an
Yes,
homage
former.
to it
That
for our
is so
music
cool.
video.
And it was a green screen, but we filmed it all black and white, and it's all an homage to Nothing Lasts Forever.
Because the movie's mostly in black and white.
And I'm in construction management, which I sort of hate, but I like actually making things, so I made a paper moon. Well, Kurt's
It was
brother helped me.
wonderful. That was
She
Kurt's
made a
brother was the
moon.
artist,
Her
and then I
Kurt's
used
brother
like the
made a moon
jigsaw and
with
shit.
Bill Murray's face
It was
in
fun.
it.
Of which, real fast.
Kyle Armstrong.
Shout out to my brother, Kyle Armstrong.
Yeah.
He did a lot of the artwork for us. He designed our logo, did the album
t-shirts.
cover, the t-shirts, a lot of stuff.
Golf clap?
And
No, it's the polite.
I also gotta say I worked at a senior center at the time, and because in the movie Bill Murray takes a bunch of seniors to the moon to go shopping, I actually got a shot of me with the seniors.
Yeah,
I
the
worked
bus.
On the bus.
on
It
the
was
bus
good.
as like
So
an
great.
homage to like Bill Murray's scenes.
Dude, most of the seniors were so excited. They're like, "Oh, we're gonna be in a video."
One of the
Like, they were
dumbest things
stoked.
I love
It was cute.
about
Yeah, they love teasing.
this weird connection. I'm really into a lot of like film and books and everything else. Just like TJ, like obsessively. Like he likes a different side of it than I do.
But we're gonna do a
But
music video
This
inspired on a
one
Eraserhead.
topic ties over. Which
On
most
a
people don't realize.
Racerhead?
Kurt would
Oh,
be
wait,
so
no,
happy.
wait,
Dude,
let me tell you
I'm
that.
fucking with you.
So-
He's
Talkin.
fucking
over, Chris.
So this one thing ties together so well because, me
and it's a weird coincidence.
Yeah, me and TJ technically met at a showing at an Alamo Draft House in Texas because I was wearing a queer hoodie.
Yeah, I don't even remember what movie I
Yeah,
saw. I was like
I
on
don't
a
either.
date, and I was like waiting for her to
Yeah.
come out of the bathroom, and I'm like, oh,
It's
that
also
guy's
how I
wearing a
met
queer
my
shirt.
girlfriend. Wife.
But
person,
we didn't
but-
become friends after
My
that.
wife person.
Oh, yeah.
My wife person.
I was gonna say
She's
you guys
watching
are
my
gonna
cat.
Tie it
We
all
love
back
you,
to
Allison.
But
forever.
so
We're losing focus.
so when we started the band, right? When we all got in a room together, this
I wasn't
guy,
even there.
I know, this guy being Hans, made a joke that we should be Hans Gruber and the Die Hards. Die Hard is my favorite movie ever.
Dude, she caught the reference. We were standing out here Wednesday, and she goes, "Dude, that's a fucking Die Hard movie. Is it all
So-
about Die Hard?"
Yeah, so Die Hard is my favorite movie. When he said that, I was like, holy shit, that has to be the name of our band. I don't care that you're named Hans. But
back
hold
it
up.
on,
They
hold
can
on.
never kick me out of the band now.
But here's the crazy
That's the main
thing.
thing.
Then when we were getting to the
We're getting
point
towards
of
Germany.
working on this song, and he was talking about Nothing Lasts Forever, I was like, holy shit, I've seen that too. Like, most people have never seen this movie. It was never released. I saw it in the theater, so did he. I think we actually might have been at the same showing.
But also,
But that movie, Nothing Lasts Forever, is actually the original name of Die Hard.
no, the book.
The
yeah,
book of
that
Die Hard
is based on is also
Called Nothing Lasts Forever.
it's
So,
a
like, to
weird
me, that was like the
coincidence.
most beautiful, like, 360.
It's a full
This is it.
circle.
How long have you been a band?
4-ish
About 4
years.
years.
4 years?
Well, 4 years
Yeah.
in September.
The
4
camaraderie.
years in April,
Is
June,
this
and
all the
November.
originals? Like, this is
yeah.
it?
I'm new.
Yeah.
I'm newish.
Yeah.
Are you newish
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you're wife person who plays saxophone?
Because of
But
hashtag
nobody's
wife
quit,
person.
if
Yeah.
that's what you
Okay,
mean.
to be fair, she.
Because I was always
Let
at
me-
the shows. I was like the
You're
only
not
one
bad.
dancing.
Let me
You're not
explain.
bad.
If you don't mind,
that?
let me
You're not
explain
bad.
why
Oh,
she
that's nice.
It's
plays
proper.
Thank
That's
you.
nice.
for the band. So what happened was because
That's a
she
good-
came to the
that's a
show. She was in another band, Los Corrados, like beforehand.
are you.
I joined. Yeah, we moved
As
to
am I. I
Austin.
played trombone for them, but she joined
We
them
moved to
first,
Austin to play music.
and then I
joined a band because I was drunk
restarted Hans Gruber after she'd already been playing.
Next Tuesday.
And so she wound up at the shows because I mean inevitably it's like hey, I have a show, it's Friday night, what are you doing, Rosie? And she's like, well,
It'd be more fun to
go
dance
to your show.
around, shit. Yeah.
So we had booked the venue and
Not to name it. We're not gonna name names.
no,
Or are we?
I might
Don't
name
do
it.
it.
Okay.
I don't know.
Your guy did his
Do what Dad
job.
says.
This interview went
Whatever
perfect.
Dad says.
So
Do whatever
so
Dad
they're the venue,
says.
and we
got
had
3
emailed
minutes.
them, we cold called them, we cold called this email, and so they said, hey, we don't actually play ska music. And when we sent this email, and it's like, well, we actually aren't really that much of a ska band.
We
At
just
the
fit
time,
well.
we played almost strictly punk music.
We said we had ska influences.
We had ska influence, and they said,
We fit
Bob
well.
Marley, everybody fucking writes that on their fucking
Listen to
profile.
what
That's
they
what you
emailed
do.
us
so
back.
they
We
said,
just talked.
they emailed back, they said, well, let me put it this way, we don't do mountains of upbeat guitar. And so
true.
we heard that, and we said, okay.
Beerland.
So we said,
cool, I
okay,
like us
well,
now.
get this.
I love
If
you
we
guys.
ever
You're my
get
new
booked
friends.
at Beerland, we are going to write a
All
bunch
new
of ska
ska
songs.
We got a fill
So
in
that you
bass
have a
player.
mountain of upbeat guitar.
say-
Fast
Literally.
forward a year later, I believe it was the Sweethearts.
Yeah,
Los
Los
They were like, hey,
Sweethearts.
you want us to play
They're
with
great.
us? And we're like, yeah. And so we played with the Sweethearts and the Red Heroes, and what was the other band? There's another band we influenced with. So they were like, well, we're playing Beerland. We gotta ska
All
it
ska.
up for this
Yes.
show.
Like, literally,
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.
Kurt threw his bass on the ground and was like, Andre, you play this. I'm playing my
We
trombone.
got a fill-in bass player.
Bill
just so we
Bass,
can
I got
have
my
a
trombone
horn
out,
section.
and we wrote a bunch of horns.
Oh my
we wrote a bunch
God.
of lines, we
Just
wrote a bunch of
ska
ska songs. And next thing you know, after that point, we actually started playing more and more ska because we liked it, and Rosie did a great job, and so.
And to be fair, everybody was super nice.
You did it as
And all
a
the
fuck
people
you,
that
and it
worked
turned
there
out
were
Beerland,
cool.
Beerland
Beerland
actually
liked
did
it.
not hate
So-
ska.
I don't remember that
It
email.
was, I would say nothing against Beerland. Beerland's
And the
super cool.
song
They're a
was-
great
Don't
venue.
tell me no.
The song was.
The song is this simple. It was. Bada, bada, bada. It was welcome to Beerland.
We play ska.
Just as a fuck you to the entire staff. And the staff came up and they were like, "Yo, that
They
sounds
loved it.
really
The
good."
sound guy was like, I don't know who sent you that email, but like, we love you guys.
We apologize.
We're sorry.
When the venue's a dick and then has to apologize when you do a good
No, so
job
the
later.
thing is, I want to say,
John Miller.
the point
I
is
was
that
saying.
like, Beerland, they were not jerks.
I don't care.
They're great
They're
people.
great, yeah.
And that
We
it was
love
just
everyone.
whoever responded to the email, I guess,
Sometimes.
didn't like ska. And so, you know.
Except for each other.
Did you hit the point where they like? I was like, "Oh, we don't have horns," and they're like, "You don't have to have horns to have ska." And I was like, "We're going down the wrong path." Because I had another band. I was in a band at the time called Calvin and the Shitpunks.
I got
Hell
the
yeah.
Terrible
With
band.
my dick.
Terrible band.
Dude,
I mean,
But
I love
oh,
Calvin
yeah.
and Shippunks.
I was like, "Yo, Calvin and Shitpunks plays here all the time. I want my other band to play here." And they're like, "Oh, we love Calvin and Shitpunks." And I was like, "Okay, what about this?" And they're like, "Nothing." They're like-
So we're just gonna show up and play
They,
with them,
they were
right?
so like, I said we are a punk ska-ish band, and that's all they
Ska-ish.
wrote. I was the one that was sending those emails. Like, I just said punk ska-ish.
Ska-ish.
I actually said we are a punk ska-ish band that loves beer and parties.
I kind of consider you ska core, and you
Yeah.
make me think of Link 80 and Voodoo Skull.
That's a great compliment. Those are
huge.
great
Those
compliments.
are
Thank
huge
you.
compliments.
Agreed.
Yeah.
All around.
Have you ever
Hands
heard-
down, that's an agree all the way around
Yeah.
the table.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you know who?
We'll have to share this.
Do you know who Nick Trania? Nick Trania is the singer of Blink 80.
Yes.
His mother is a absolute world phenomenon romance writer.
Danielle
Ooh.
Steele.
Danielle
Steele.
Steele.
Oh my God! I didn't know that.
She has
She
an
wrote,
actual
she wrote a
great-
biography
On him?
on him.
and it's amazing.
It's,
Actually,
no, you'll fucking cry.
No.
I will say
Actually, he's the only guy I know that's ever read it. On
So I'm gonna
I
say
haven't read
actually
it.
long story real fast. Not long story, short story. My
Sorry.
dad's bipolar, and he
My mom's back.
yeah. No, so what happened was
My aunt's
so he's-
bipolar.
My best friend Michaela's
bipolar.
My
So,
God.
my dad's bipolar.
Schizotypal now.
Shout out.
So my dad's bipolar, and
What?
he had read the book, and I mentioned Nick Tanner from Blink 80, and he's like, oh hey. I have a book about him because when he got bipolar, he actually was reading
wow.
about all these people, and so he had read the book, and it's funny because it's like that one of those moments where it's like, oh shit, I can't believe you know who this band is, Dad, and he's like, yeah, I know the band because of this guy.
That's
and
funny.
Wasn't that crappy band Say Anything singer bipolar too?
Crappy band.
Most singers are bipolar.
The only,
Just remember, it's like they put
I
in
am
a lot
I'm
of
just
work and
mildly
practice,
depressed,
TJ.
Chris.
But it's just
Yeah, there are no
not.
crappy
End
bands.
result.
So,
All right.
Hans Gruber and the Diehards, they are on tour. You can catch them in Madison tonight at the Frequency, and then on Tuesday in Milwaukee at Porter's, which is a really cool venue. Hey, size 5s, if you're paying attention, fucking get your ass there, because you guys would really like
Yeah.
to connect with them. You want to play Milwaukee again. They is the guy. What?
how's it spelled?
Size 5s, as in like, catch those
like
size 5s.
fives.
The Goonies?
Those are some
Oh,
tiny
I
fucking.
think
Right.
Dude, that sounds great. You can wear little boy shoes.
Ah,
Little boy
that's
shoes are
nice.
Hey,
cool.
can we do another hour interview? This is the best interview.
Right, you said, how are we going to do this?
You
So,
can do 45
Thank you.
minutes.
guys,
I
we can
thought.
find you where? Where can we find your shit so that people can get your CD?
Hans Gruber and the Diehards.com. Facebook. Hans Gruber and the Diehards. Spotify.
Instagram.
YouTube. Bandcamp.
Instagram.
Jess the Ska Kid.
Not SoundCloud. Not SoundCloud.
No, that's fine.
Thank you so
Only
much.
animation.
Wait, we don't do
Oh.
weird hip hop. We're not on SoundCloud.
We do a Run
No, but
DMC
you will be
cover.
after.
We
Oh.
will do weird.
SoundCloud,
You know
yes.
why? Because
Will
it gives
be
you the
now.
platform without having to use an industrial or like music platform to print your stuff.
I'm
So
on
then you
Sound-
can be on Spotify and own all your own
You
royalties.
can check out my old band, the Lone Wolves, on Reverb Nation.
Kurt Armstrong family band.
Shameless plug.
Obi Scott
We need to get
Kenobi.
Joey
Carlos.
Abraham.
Yeah.
And it could be
They're
Lone Wolves.
super
Thank you,
fun.
Kenosha.
wolves and old wolves, will you please come
Whoa,
together?
God, yeah.
And
Lone old wolves.
I want to go to Fest
Whoa,
just
bro.
so I can see
Wow.
Wolfface play. They're
Oh.
a Teen Wolf themed band.
I don't know that we're going to go to
What?
Fest. I don't know that we're
I'm
going
gonna
to
go
to
What?
Fest.
just to see
wanna see
Wolfface.
this.
But I hope on June 11th we find out whether or not we're going.
I hope there's at least one other wolf themed band besides Wolfface. Because they're a Teen Wolf themed band and they're amazing. And since I was in a band called the Lone Wolves, which was basically like about werewolves, that
I
makes
love
me
that.
Why are we still
My
doing
D-
it?
my
That's
D&D
what
character is a werewolf. So.
Dude, mine's a lizard folk.
Fuck
So
yeah.
this is
yeah.
Jess the Ska Kid. This has been Hans
fucking
Gruber
Dungeons
and the
and
Die Hards.
Dragons.
You can catch
My
them
brother,
tonight,
he runs
7
the
o'clock,
campaign.
Madison, the Frequency.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Yay!
Super.